6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wednesday night, the To Be Determined show right here on Beyond Ringside Radio. I'm the Oracle of Honesty, Architect of Intellect, and joining me is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight?
There's a party going all around the world. Electric Light Orchestra. I miss you guys.
That is a great ELO for those that are redundant. And, of course, tonight, starting off the show, we're going to have this man on for the first 30 minutes. And, yes, don't worry, don't panic. His segment will be on later on in the night. He is the internet darling, Smark Rage. Corey, how you doing tonight, man?
I am doing great. I'm ready to let loose, let it fly, let it go. So let's rock and roll.
Yes, sir. Tonight we have a packed show. We have 3 guests tonight. Yes, we're going to go 15 minutes apiece. We have the local scene, Josh Storm. We have Colin Michael Ball and Pandora. And we have the one, the only, Nina Monet coming on tonight. So, packed show. So let's jump right into it. We asked on Twitter and on Facebook a question that I didn't think was going to get that much flack. Corey made a great statement off air that we will, I will let him speak on as well. And Eddie also, spoke about it. But the tribute to Paul Bearer that was interrupted at the beginning of Raw by CM Punk, I asked the question, is this disrespectful or was this an instant classic? Personally, as a manager, as we all know, I think that Percy Pringle, William Moody would actually have been for this. I think that had they not done something with it, I think Percy may have come back and haunted everybody. That's just me. But we're going to go around the round table, around the ring, if you will. Eddie, your thoughts on this. Was this disrespectful or was this a classic, sir?
Before I kick it in, remember, everybody listening, the chat room is open and live over at www.beyondringside.com. So everybody who's listening on Shoutcast and through all the other venues, please pop on over. Chat room is open. We want to see what you think. When Raw kicked off and Taker's music hit, I was sitting down. I'm sitting back going, perfect way to open the show. Taker gets in the ring. Taker has the urn there in front of him. Taker drops to one knee and points toward the screen, and the shot comes up, the memoriam to Bill Moody, Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle too, don't forget, and a couple other names that we're not going to mention right now because I forgot. I just basically had to stand up and applaud. And then when Punk's music hit, everybody in my neighborhood could hear me scream, "Yes!" We've had a discussion on To Be Determined on a number of different occasions, kids. There is a difference between a heel, a rule breaker, a villain, as opposed to the cool heel who people like to cheer and they like to hear the cheers, but they're still going to be the heel. And then there's the heel that knows what to do to get white hot frickin' heat. That was absolutely perfect. No qualm whatsoever. I thought it was beautifully timed. And when Punk came out and said what he said, abso-frickin-lutely beautiful. I don't know if he wrote it. I don't know if creative gave it to him. I'm pretty sure they worked together on this one with Punk taking the lead. But as far as it goes, I think everybody did it right. No complaints. One of the best show opens that Monday Night Raw has had probably in the last 5 years. My hat's off to him, Wick.
Corey, your thoughts on this? Disrespectful or classic?
No, it was classic. It's wrestling. You CM Punk's a heel. You figured he was going to come out there and do something. That was the best way that Undertaker could pay respect on camera to the late great Paul Bearer without him breaking his character. But of course CM Punk's going to come out. That's what heels do.
God, thank you.
Wrestling. Every wrestling fan on Twitter was like, "Oh, it's disrespectful. It's disrespectful." Like I said to you guys off air, I don't know. I knew Paul Bearer. Met him a few times. WrestleMania, Twitter, talked to him a bunch of times. He's old school. He's old school. He wanted it to. He was looking down in heaven and laughing and smiling and thinking, wow, they did all this for me. Undertaker would have never gone along with it if he thought it was disrespectful. Calm down, folks. It's just wrestling.
I got to take umbrage with something there. Okay, Corey, this is where we're going to have a major disagreement. It's not just wrestling. You have to remember, there's different facets to every part of the world known as professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And Wick, I know I'm probably going to steal one from out from under you. I used to get legitimately ill, when people would start complaining about the storylines in 24. And before I go any further, Monday night, the episode of Dallas where they had the memoriam for J.R. Ewing and Larry Hagman, I'm sorry, I actually did shed a tear. To me, Larry Hagman, J.R. Ewing, greatest television heel of all time, greatest villain of all time. And yes, his memoriam, I cried. Right along with Jerry Jones, Mark Cuban, and the mayor of Dallas. But people will complain about scenarios in play, but you have to sit back and understand something. And this is something that I think if you talked a little bit more with people, you would find out that it's not just wrestling. For us, I have to say, Wicked, you've heard my perspectives on a number of sides of this. I live and breathe this. I love this business. I love the sport of professional wrestling, the industry and the world of professional wrestling. There's a lot more to every facet of it. And when I just hear just wrestling, I know you didn't mean disrespect, but a lot of people will take it that way, especially me who's devoted over 20 plus years of my life to this shit. So,
when I say just wrestling, I didn't want to say, oh man, it's just that fake stuff. People take wrestling.
I kick you in the nuts for that one.
It's different. When I say it's just wrestling, I'm saying that as a fan who loves wrestling, who goes to as many shows as I can. But wrestling fans, the so-called smart wrestling fans that know that it's just wrestling without using the F word, because it's not fake. But wrestling fans that know that it's just wrestling still get mad. That's something that's just wrestling, What's the best way for me to say it without throwing the 500-pound gorilla in the room?
Easy. That's the way they chose to do it. That's the way they went with it. Not necessarily it's just wrestling, but that's the way they did it. Wick, disagree or agree? I think he's sitting back taking it all in. I really didn't mean to commandeer that part, but Wick, go ahead. Unless Wick is having Skype trouble. Okay, that would explain it. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Come on back in, dude. Once again, my apologies.
I think, personally, that had they not done something, it would have been disrespectful. Just plain and simple. People are, he's just using it to get heat. No, he advanced the storyline. You're talking about two guys that just really don't have anything. I mean, this is how you build a storyline. I think that more people are a little bit more kin to it. I mean, but there's still people out there that think that Kane is his son. And also, you have Kane beating Punk at the end with the help with Undertaker, and then Punk grabbing the urn. That is awesome.
I've got a comment from the chat room. Good friend of mine,
Okay.
Jimmy Anderson, under the nickname of Asshole. He said, I disagree. There's a standard. That was not about ratings. That was not about Punk. It was not about Taker. It was about William Paul Bearer Moody. In his opinion, it was a bad decision by Vince McMahon and WWE Creative. Jimmy, I've got to sit back and say this. I agree with the entire panel on this particular issue. It's about doing the best thing for the storylines. You've got Punk versus Taker coming up in right about 4 weeks at WrestleMania. The fact of the matter is, you've got a storyline that people are just looking at going, Taker ought to kick his ass. And by the same token, you've got Punk who loves to get in people's heads. What better way for CM Punk to get inside the head of The Undertaker than to do exactly what was done this past Monday night on Raw? Wick, agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. I mean, this is just something. Okay, look. Percy Pringle had been in the business a long time. William Moody, Paul Bearer, whatever you want to call him. He'd been in the business for a long time. This is just, that was Punk's way, as one of you guys said, as a tribute. That was Punk's best way of giving a tribute to Paul Bearer, to Mr. Moody. Like I said, a lot of people think it was distasteful, and that's their opinion. A lot of people don't feel that the show should have went on after Owen Hart plummeted to his death. So they couldn't kayfabe it. They couldn't ignore it. They couldn't act like it didn't happen. It was out there. It was everywhere. It was one of, I think, got to like number 2 or number 3 on Yahoo when it happened on top stories. So, I mean, people are going to have their opinion, and anybody wants it, 205-316-9900 is the call-in number. If you want to let us know what you think about this. Also, tonight, as I said, we have the local scene, Josh Storm, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora, and Nina Monet coming on. They're going to discuss Universal Independent Wrestling's upcoming event this Saturday from Carrollton, Georgia. This is going to be a hell of an event. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be there, and you have to see this to believe it. You have Diamond Dallas Page and Jake the Snake Roberts on this event. Corey, I know you're going to be there, are you not, sir?
I'm going to be there. Before I interject, let me just backtrack just for 1 second. WWE brought in Paul Bearer's sons to that show Monday night.
Yep.
So
Awesome.
They flew those guys in. So, it was a tribute to their daddy. Guy was in the business for over 40 years. It was great. Saturday in Villa Rica, Georgia, UIW. Looking forward to it. DDP and Jake the Snake Roberts. I don't know. Wicked Nemesis. I told you what the smoke rage is all about. I may or may not.
Yeah.
Be able to, I may or may not be able to show my face in Villa Rica this week.
That's great. Hey, it is what it is. But really quick before we just completely get off the subject, ladies and gentlemen, they talked about Paul Bearer the entire night.
Yeah.
This wasn't just something, I mean, we've seen where they've acted like the guys were never there. They've acted like nothing ever happened. They've acted like there was nothing to be done. Oh, nobody died. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. It's like Frank Drebin from Police Squad. All the fireworks and shit going off in the back. Nothing to see here. Just remain calm. Explosions everywhere. Now, they gave him a tribute the entire night. You can't beat that. But 205-316-9900. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Universal Independent Wrestling. And yes, I know what you're going to go off on, and we will save that. But the thing about it, guys, is there's one thing that comes to mind on this. How often do you get to see two legends on one event, especially in the Southeast? It's at the Bay Springs Middle School, and it's in Villa Rica, not in Carrollton this time. Villa Rica. Their main event is enough to go to the show for, but we'll talk about that a little later on. But guys, you guys have got to make sure one thing. Got to make sure one thing. Go out and support local independent wrestling. What the hell is a Toyota, Eddie? I'm sorry.
I inadvertently put an O in there. Alicia Stockton, AlleyDoll42 over on Twitter, made the comment that what CM Punk did was what a heel should do during that kind of moment. And I'll paraphrase on television. She says, I think it was actually a good tribute to Bearer. Also from that vantage point, folks, if you've got comments, you're listening and you've got Twitter open right now, I'd love to see what you've got to say at the TBD show over on Twitter. And of course, chat room still very much open over on beyondringside.com. Wick?
For the rest of the night, of course, this is a generalized statement, a generalized question. So we will ask it throughout the night and keep them coming. This has been an ongoing thing where, some people catch it at the end. They're, what were they talking about? We have to make sure we do that.
Let me go ahead and also interject this one, because this storyline right here, the show open of Monday Night Raw with tribute to Paul Bearer, Taker, Kane, Punk. And I want to put this one to you. We got about 12 minutes before the break, and you said we got who coming on at what time, sir?
We have the local scene, Josh Storm, coming on at 9:30 our time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, Central Standard Time. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
and then immediately following that, Call Michael Ball and Pandora, then a break, then the Smarks Rage, and then, of course, we have Nina Monet.
the question I'd like to put out there, which could actually be a standalone question, but I think it ties in perfectly to Monday Night Raw. At what point does the gimmick eclipse the wrestler? The reason why I asked that question is because we're looking at the television screen Monday night on Monday Night Raw. And I'm not going to use shoot names other than for Paul Bearer because they put it on the screen. We've called CM Punk by his shoot name before. We've called Kane by his shoot name. And we've done the same thing. Done the same thing to Taker when we were talking about Texas Red and characters that individual has played. Mean Mark Callis, and we look at the television screen now with the passing of Bill Moody, Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle. It's vogue to use his real name. However, we look at the screen and we're not thinking insert real name here when we're looking at the Undertaker on the screen. We're not thinking about insert real name here when we're talking about Kane coming out to run Punk off. Has the gimmick eclipsed the wrestler? And I'll give you one more ultimate example. One of my favorites of all time. His real name has become public domain, but I'm still not going to do it. And I'm talking about the iconic, the legendary, the maestro of the $1 million knee lift, Mr. Wrestling number 2. Spent his entire masked career under the mask. When he first put the mask on, he stayed under the mask as Wrestling 2 the whole time. Deuce, whatever you want to call it. He could walk around without the mask, and very few people outside of the sport of professional wrestling, I didn't say business, drink anyway, the majority of the people wouldn't know him unless you were in wrestling. But the gimmick was greater than the wrestler. He's Wrestling too. He's the Undertaker.
I think that happens with personalities, not just with wrestlers. I think any personality it happens. You've seen me at shows before and events where I haven't had my hair up, and people in a mohawk, and people have no idea who I am.
Right.
No idea, guys. I've known for 4 or 5 years.
Well,
I think that when you have that personality, when you have something that stands out, as you were talking about a masked wrestler number 2 is a great. There are guys like that, like the Junkyard Dog. Nobody knew who Sylvester Groom was. Nobody knew.
Right.
Nobody even thought about him. They're like, that's Junkyard Dog. Big Van Vader, same difference. People forget that he played, unless Tony Schiavone would occasionally say something, or Jim Ross would occasionally. People are like, oh, that's right. His name's Leon. I thought his real name was Vader or Van. I mean,
really?
It happens, guys. I think that is a great question, and that's something we want to pose throughout the night. When does the gimmick surpass the wrestler? Is another question we will ask. A little deeper. We're going to go into like layers, like an ogre, like an onion, and layers. But
well, see,
guys,
let me cut in for 1 second.
Well, how about when Vince McMahon, is doing an interview and he's talking about Triple H, and everybody knows his name is Triple H, and he's been Triple H for 20 years, and he goes, "Oh yeah, my son-in-law Paul." This is kind of the same thing.
Or when you're talking about the character in WCW, John Paul Levesque.
Right.
nobody rememers that, Eddie. You're bringing out some shit. Nobody remembers that.
I remember it before.
Everybody remembers Terror Rising. Okay.
Well, see, a lot of people don't remember Wicked Nemesis, but they all sure as hell know the Wicked Nemesis
Wicked
when you went by your
Nemesis,
shoot
exactly
name.
right.
I mean, I hate to go ahead.
We have some answers, guys. Ninja Britch has said it was a classic. Jeff Hines says that Percy Pringle III would have it no other way. So we have two people right there to support it, and of course Corey comes on there and is like, classic. Yeah, Corey, we knew you enjoyed it. Guys,
because it's old school. It's old school. I'm an old school fan.
Exactly. I think that's I don't know. I have a different mentality than other people, and you guys have almost the same mentality. I believe it was great. I believe it was a way to give tribute. But 205-316-9900. Hit us up on Facebook. To be determined on Facebook. At the TBD show on Twitter, at Fast Eddie Lane, at Smart Rage, and at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter. Let us know what you think about this. But guys, I have to ask you really, what do you think about the main event, Kane against Punk? What did you guys think about that match, Corey?
Sorry, hell of a match. Punk stealing the urn, classic, good stuff. And then after the show, if you go look on my Twitter at the Smock Rage, look through my pictures, they did a Kane and Undertaker got to the top of the ramp with the urn and kind of did a salute to Paul Bearer. And there's a great picture on my Twitter and my Instagram at Smock Rage on Instagram of them giving a nice tribute. The lights went out. They got on their knee and held the urn up, and it was just cool, man. It was just a cool, magical night.
It was. I mean, like I said, they could have went one way and just be like, "Oh, congratulations, guys. We appreciate your effort." No, they went through the entire night. Great tribute and great way to keep Punk and Taker hot. Just my opinion. And I loved how. Now we all know the urn has been stolen before. So, but Eddie, your thoughts on the match?
I thought the match in and of itself was a solid match, pretty damn near close to pay-per-view quality, and I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, pay-per-view quality. What I'd be looking at right now is the fact that during the match, fans were chanting CM Punk, CM Punk. And, you've got a toss back and forth between the heel section of fans who are going to cheer for Punk regardless because he's the heel in the circumstance, he's the rule breaker and the villain, he's the badass. And then you've got others who are realizing the fact that Kane is fighting for the honor of Paul Bearer's memory in this circumstance and da-da-da-da-da because he felt that Punk had disrespected him. What in the living hell is the difference between Punk interrupting Taker at the beginning of the show and running off with the urn at the end of the show? Ladies and gentlemen, not a damn thing. It's called getting a reaction, which is what anybody in professional wrestling wants to do. And that's twice in one night where CM Punk stole the show. Wick?
At Ginger Michelle says, pertaining to when does a gimmick surpass a wrestler? When their image and or catchphrase outshines their in-ring ability.
If you smell... Okay.
Oh, uh-oh. I heard that. And you know who else heard that? God.
Ric Flair's not listening to this show tonight.
And obviously, God is a Rock fan. For anybody that's seen that, man, you can't get that big without being on something unless God gave it to you, right?
You mean Dwayne Johnson, okay?
Dwayne Johnson.
You know what? And talking about him looking like that, even The Rock could make The Rock look like a jabroni.
Yeah.
Damn.
Rock 2013 makes Rock 98 look like a damn jabroni sometimes.
Oh my God! That's
no,
so
strike that, reverse it. Rock 98 makes Rock 2013 look like a damn jabroni.
Okay, you got your parallel universes correct.
I've got my timeline straight again. I'm back to 0 hour.
Well, then there you go. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our first break. Got a few minutes left. 205-316-9900 or hit us at the TBD Show on Twitter, at Fast Eddie Lane, at Smart Rage, at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter, or the Facebook fan page, To Be Determined Show. And let us know your thoughts on this. When does a wrestler's gimmick surpass the wrestler, him or herself? And your thoughts on the Punk's promo, I guess we want to call it, during the middle of the tribute that Taker was giving Paul Bearer. Guys, I know that very soon you're going to have to dip off for a little bit, Corey. Corey's going to go crazy tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and warn everybody. We need to go ahead and tell, this is our warning.
No, don't
due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised. We're just going to ahead and tell you, this is not your old man show. This is not your old woman show. This is going to get kind of hot and heated tonight, and we're going to ask Josh Storm, Pandora, and Nina some hard questions, and we want to see their side. We'll put them on the spot tonight. Yeah, we'll hold their feet to the flame, to the fire. Guys, are you ready for this? Are you ready for 3? It's been a long time since we've had multiple guests. We've had 2. It's the first time we've had 3. Eddie, you ready?
I'm always ready. You know me.
After that fucking interview you did with the Materia, I mean, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I think you're about ready for anything. Yeah. Check that out on Beyond Ringside. I think it may have come on. Didn't it come on right before we went live?
It came on just before we went live, and I will replay that interview with Cobalt of the Materia that we did this past Sunday night, immediately following the To Be Determined show.
And I love when you hear a guy like Cobalt, because you instantly know nerd.
Yes.
The nerd. D&D nerd.
He's not a nerd.
Where's Oak?
He's a goblin. He's a goblin.
Great interview too. The entire time in character, and I love it. You right there. That's a prime example of, because he's a total gimmick. He's a walking gimmick. I guess anybody you want to call a character that really has something that stands out. Even Al Snow. Al Snow was nobody when he was Leif Garrett or whatever did he go by? What do you
pretty much. I guess Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett. Yeah, when he was like the New Rock or whatever. But when he become Al Snow with head,
what does everybody want?
Is a gimmick. What is that? That's a gimmick.
Yep.
That surpassed him. But the thing is when does it surpass them, and when does it bring them to the limelight and keep them relevant for an extended period of time? Because I think there's kind of a difference. With the mask, you can always stick other people under the mask. Let's be honest, it's happened. You can have other people play that gimmick. That's one thing. Another thing is for somebody to actually be something. I mean, like Great Muta. Muta, you've had guys like Tajiri come after him. I mean, Tajiri is a respectful tribute to him, but a tribute nonetheless. Hell, even Chance Prophet, who a lot of people call the American one. Okay, toss.
Real quick, we have fired up the Ustream feed because there are a lot of people who still listen and watch for the notifications from Ustream. For everybody listening on the To Be Determined show on Ustream feed, we are not monitoring that chat room at this point. We just got that one open for listening. If you'd like to make a comment, catch us on Twitter at the TBD Show, or at Wicked Nemesis, at Fast Eddie Lane, or at Smart Rage. Take your pick. But like I said, if you're listening through Ustream, please, we're not monitoring that chat room. Say what you want. Unfortunately, we just won't be able to see it. Wick?
Say what you want, motherfuckers. We just may not acknowledge it. So we're about to take our first break of the evening. When we come back, the local scene, Josh Storm, Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora, Corey, here in just a few. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the To Be Determined show right here on Beyond Ringside Radio. I'm the Orc of Almas, the Architect of Intellect. Thank you for joining us. We have Fast Eddie Lane, but we're going to get right into it. Our first guest of the evening, the local scene, Josh Storm. Josh, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Now, this Saturday, 122 Bay Springs Road in Villa Rica, Georgia, the Bay Springs Middle School. You and actually a member of your family, somebody that you know all too well, a man that you have battled up and down this road with and against. So fine, too fine, the one and only Frankie Valentine. Josh,
Ow.
I mean, what are you guys doing? I mean,
we are taking on the So Fine Mafia.
Oh, yeah. Now, Brad Lynch and Epic Grant Mitchell, for those not familiar with those two.
Yes, sir. Originally it was supposed to be a title match, but they kind of dropped them to the Empire last show, so it's now just a tag team match.
Oh, does this take anything out of this match, knowing that the titles are no longer on the line?
Not for me. I'm just going for the win. Me and Frankie, we've been working hard together, and I think it's going to be a really good match either way. We're still supposed to be number one contenders, so, I mean, if we win this match, I guess we go on to face Empire.
Yeah, so we're assuming once you get past So Fine Mafia, if you do, because let's be honest, the So Fine Mafia are just those guys on a whole nother level, especially Epic Grant Mitchell. I mean, you and Frankie know each other probably better than any two guys in the business. You probably know him better than he does himself. What is it this time that you guys are going to do to stand out, to just win this one and just to bring it home?
Well, I mean, I myself have pinned Brad Lynch's shoulders to the mat countless times, and Grant Mitchell's. I just got to make sure that me and Frankie are on the same page and we can get the job done. I mean, Frankie's, I'm sure, has beat him countless times, and you know he is the originator of So Fine, and they're going to find out that this is true.
Now, why did you and Frankie decide to form this tag team again after you guys have accomplished almost everything there is to accomplish being a tag team? Why get back together? Was it strictly for this? Was there something that led into it?
Well, we originally started out as family first when we were feuding with the Immoral Minority, and then after a while the family feud started dying down, and we decided we were going to take the tag team scene to a whole nother level, that we were going to actually compete and try to win championships.
Now you're known for having a big following. Do you see that this time more than ever with such a huge show, with such a huge event going on, that you need your fans there this Saturday more than ever?
Oh, yes, definitely. And to top it off, the fact that UIW is bringing in DDP and Jake the Snake, I see no other place to be at.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. How do you feel about Jake the Snake Roberts and Diamond Dallas Page being on the event, but not necessarily wrestling? Is this fine with you? We've asked everybody this from UIW that we've had on.
I don't know 100%. I mean, if that's what the booker wants and that's what he wants, I necessarily don't see a problem with it. But, just being in the same locker room as those two guys really, I think, will really bring up the morale.
Now, you guys have sort of a cancer, sort of a problem going on in UIW being the Empire. You spoke about SoFi Mafia actually losing the titles last week to them. Now, where do you line up in this? Are you pro-Empire? Are you anti-Empire? What I'm trying to ask, there comes a point in time where you're going to have to choose sides, and we're wanting to know right here. Give the To Be Determined show the exclusive and let all your fans know, what side are you on?
I personally have not had any run-ins with Empire as of yet. All I can tell you right now is I'm pro-UIW. If they have any problems with me, then I guess we'll go from there. But as long as they don't cross my path, I don't see no reason to cross theirs.
Don't you feel like it would be better for UIW if you and Frankie, instead of fighting SoFi Mafia, joining forces and aligning against the Empire?
I don't know if there's going to be any alliances of any sort going against them as of yet. I personally haven't heard anything. I really don't know anything about that as of right now.
I mean, but do you feel that the locker room needs to have solidarity, and because right now they have the tag team titles. What's to stop them from immediately, going after the heavyweight title? I mean, or the internet title, although, Jimmy Rave and Fred, Yehai are actually battling for that title, Fred being the champion this Saturday. They could gobble that up in a second. I mean, they're only as strong as their weakest link, and right now their weakest link appears to be Jagged Edge, and that's saying something. Your thoughts on this?
The Jagged Edge hasn't really competed much, so we really haven't seen anything out of Jagged Edge. They could possibly take it, as far as you're saying, but yes, I agree, we do need solidarity and we need to protect our ground. But at the same time, like I said, as long as I'm not in their line of sight, they're not in my line of sight, I'm staying on my side.
You hear Josh Storm was like, hey, calm down, don't throw me to the gang. But they have that gang mentality, and you and Frankie have that. You guys have watched each other's back. I mean, although you have been on different ends of the spectrum and, and been against each other, you guys seem to always have your back. Is that the only person right now that you truly have their back is Frankie? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, for the most part, that's probably as true as it goes. I mean, we've been through so much. We've been, like you said, battling out since 2004. I've been in this business for 9 years come March 20th.
And by the way, those that want to know, Josh Storm actually started when he was 6 months old wrestling. Go ahead.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't know how to bounce back to that. we've had our ups and downs, but we've come to our agreements also, and, you know, he's the only one I could really trust to watch my back.
That's right. Blood is thicker than water. Eddie, questions for the local scene, Josh Storm.
Yeah, I've really got one that's going to make you think for a second, Josh, and I hate to do this to you. There is a standing mentality running through a number of different promotions when it comes to factions, organizations, groups, families, stables, that if you're not with us, you're against us. With the current situation that you're facing right now, granted what you just said a minute ago, and that holds tremendous water, but with the current situation going on that right now, do you feel that anyone can really remain neutral? And also, is there an underlying paranoia or train of thought going, who can I really trust?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess when you put it into that kind of wording, yes, I understand where you're coming at. When I'm assuming you're still talking about empire. It's a tough sport to learn to trust anybody. So I'm one of those that if you don't mess with me, I don't mess with you. But in the long run, if you mess with me, it's going to be a pretty bad day.
Well, speaking of pretty bad days, man, we're going to have to let you go, sir. Really quick, how can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be fans, for questions, comments, concerns, or for bookings, Josh?
The best way to contact me is through my Facebook. I also have a fan page on Facebook, The Local Scene Josh Storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, 122 Bay Springs Road, Frankie Valentine and Josh Storm, now called Full Throttle, against SoFine Mafia, Brad Lynch, and Epic Grant Mitchell. Yes, there's double Full Throttle.
Actually,
we have
Wick,
the Georgia version and the Alabama version. Yes, sir.
Actually, real quick, Josh, got to ask a question. Knowing the fact that you're his partner, but I'm sure that y'all have also faced each other once or twice. Matter of fact, I know you have. Who's got tougher chops? Frankie Valentine, or the Cracker Barrel at closing time?
That's a hard one. I guess it depends on who's receiving them.
There you go, Wick.
I'd rather a great white hit me with its flipper than Frankie Valentine chop me. I've seen what he's done to people's just. Josh, thank you so much. Anything you'd like to say to SoFine Mafia before we let you go, sir? Any closing arguments or closing concerns?
Hope they're ready to have their shoulders pinned to the mat because we're coming home with the victory.
There you go. Josh, thank you so much, everybody. The local scene, Josh Storm, go out and see him at Villa Rica this Saturday. Josh, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Universal Independent Wrestling, I mean, they are just bringing it out this Saturday. They're doing everything they can to bring a great product to the fans. So, and very soon we're going to speak to one of those cancers, one of those canceristic bitches. the canceristic bitch, I guess they call her the queen. I don't know. She can be the queen of the empire if she wants, because she's the matriarch of the Merchants of Death. That's okay. Calm Like a Bomb Pandora will be joining us very soon, and we're going to ask her that. We're going to ask her, maybe she can, because, if I can get Pandora, I can start poking her. Pandora will tell me. She'll tell me secrets. We might have another exclusive. We heard the exclusive tonight. Josh Storm aligning himself with Universal Independent Wrestling, but saying in that same breath that the only person that he can trust to watch his back is his own flesh and blood, Frankie Valentine. Hey, I think that's very telling. Eddie, your thoughts on that?
Wick, you and I both know we're veterans of the world of professional wrestling. When it comes down to it and everything is said and done, there's only one person that you can trust, and that is
yourself.
That's it. Yahtzee.
Yahtzee, Bones, domino, motherfucker. It is, but seriously, I mean, SoFi Mafia is awesome. They're an awesome group, but them losing the titles, I think, has a little bit of a sting to it, and I think Josh didn't like that. You could hear the disdain in his voice, but right now here we have her 1/3 or 1/4. I don't know if we're including DeWitt. I wouldn't include DeWitt, but 1/3 of the Empire. Calm like a bomb. Pandora. Pandora, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic. We just talked to local scene Josh Storm, and we posed him a question after Jagged Edge and Shane Marks beat SoFi Mafia for the tag team titles, and now you being the Universal Independent Wrestling Women's Champion, and I love the Ultimate Warrior yellow belt, good stuff. With that being said, what is to stop the Empire from just gobbling up all the titles?
There's nothing stopping us. Nothing at all. And once we win the street fight on Saturday at UIW at Bay Springs Middle School, believe me, there'll be nothing to stop us.
At the Medio School? If we're going to the Medio School, I'm just letting you know. Yeah, you stop yourself. Look,
yeah. Yeah, that.
But look, that place.
Yeah, that one.
You guys have, as I said, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and your weakest link is Jagged Edge, and that is saying something. But right now, there's only 3 of you guys, and there's an entire locker room against you all. And I asked Josh Storm where his alliances were, whether he was pro-Empire or anti-Empire. He said he was pro-UIW. Do you think, and do you have the sense that if the locker room shows any kind of solidarity, instead of just beating the crap out of each other, that they gang up against you guys, that you guys are through? Do you feel that, or do you feel that there's so much pressure and so much anxiety and so much distrust going on backstage that they won't even think about joining against you?
Oh no, I definitely don't think anybody's going to go against us. You got Bull Buchanan, Murder One, and Nina Monet teaming up against us. That just goes to show there's no solidarity in that locker room. They got 3 people that barely even know each other joining against us. And Bull stuck his nose in to our business 2 weeks ago at UIW, coming out there and for Nina's defense. He's going to pay this Saturday. He's going to pay.
Why would he come out to Nina's defense? I mean, there's no kind of history between these two. I mean, he wouldn't even know her if she was standing there with a boa around her head. Oh, why would he come out to her defense? Have you heard anything about this?
No, I haven't heard anything. I mean, clearly they're teaming up on Saturday night, and well, I guess maybe he didn't want it to be a handicap match and didn't want it to be the 3 of us against the 2 of them, because we would definitely take Nina out until he made that save.
Now, we know that you and Nina have a lot of history. In fact, once again, I think you guys after this Saturday, I believe you all actually get a free blizzard for having your 1,000th match against each other. So, with that being said, how does Murder One fit into this? How does Murder One has a history with Shane Marks? Does Murder One have history with Jagged Edge, or does Murder One have history with you? We all know he wants to kill you, but I mean that's outside the ring. I mean.
Yeah, well, no, I think he's sticking his nose into some business that isn't his either. So, and he will be taken care of. I have no doubt in my mind that Shane Marks and Jagged Edge will be able to take care of those Murder One and Bull Buchanan, and we all know that I can take care of Nina Monet. So who are you betting on?
Are you overlooking Nina with this being a street fight? How did this even come about being a street fight? Last time I heard it was just an intergender tag, and now all of a sudden it's a street fight.
You know, I don't know. I
bet it was
what
DeWitt.
happened.
My money's on DeWitt.
Well, and you know what? It's in our favor if it's a street fight, because I guarantee you we could be a lot dirtier. Remember, we're not the good guys. We have no problem being the bad guys.
Uh-oh.
I gotta argue on that one real quick, because I know all 6 of the people inside this match. Pandora, with all due respect, and I say this in the nicest possible way, you are one of the baddest individuals I have ever seen in a squared circle. I've seen you go near our matches and not even look like you're breaking a sweat or breathing hard. But I also know the revelation Shane Marks. I'm not that familiar with the Jagged Edge, but I know him. And you're looking across the ring at Murder One and Bull Buchanan and saying, y'all are the bad guys? I've watched Bull Buchanan rip somebody's head off and then turn around and drink a Coca-Cola and say, yeah, it's flat. I've watched Murder One actually go to school on somebody and say, next victim, I'm bored. And I have to say, the feud between you and Nina Monet, that has reached, I hate to use this term, epic proportions. And I think Wicked's right. You're not only going to get a blizzard from DQ after this match, because I think you're right around that number, but you might also get a free Frosty from Wendy's too while you're at it. How can you look at Murder One and Bull Buchanan and say, with any kind of, that y'all are really the bad guys in this?
Are you trying to put fear in me, because it's not working?
I'm putting reality out there.
We are the better guys. Does that sound better to you?
I'll go with that.
We are the better.
I'll go with that.
I don't fear any man, and
I know.
my partner Shane Marks in the Jagged Edge.
I've watched you against the male persuasion before. You have no fear in your, I'll say it the way I wanted to say it the first time. You're one of the baddest bitches on the planet, plain and simple. I mean, I wouldn't be in the same dark alley with you if you gave me $1 million cash in advance. Small and Mart bills, please, and plus a discount for a free blizzard. But I have to look, because I'm going to do the comparisons in the matchups here. If you go 1-to-1, Shane Marks, Murder One, main event anywhere. Jagged Edge, Bull Buchanan, main event. You and Nina Monet have been a main event on more than one occasion. I think that both sides have their positives. I think both sides have their detractions. I'm saying this is going to be one of the biggest pick'em matches of the year.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I am not overlooking the fact that they can beat us, but am I not confident that we will beat them? By all means, they can give it their best shot, but I guarantee you we're going to come out the winners in this match. Just like I guaranteed you I was going to be the first UIW women's champ. My money's on us, if you ask me.
How much money you got? Can you let me borrow some?
What? Are you doubting me? Are you doubting me? Wicked One, are you doubting me?
This is a shakedown. No, this is a shakedown. I just asked you for some money. I didn't doubt you. I said give you some money.
He ain't gonna get the gift coupon. He wants to go buy a blizzard.
Look, I'm a huge Cookie Monster fan, so I prefer cookies. Oh boy, oh boy!
I like pie.
Pie, hey.
Oh,
Pie is
God.
awesome. What type?
Oh,
Cherry.
Oh, yeah, hey, good song. But, Pandora, being the first Jewish superhero in wrestling history, how does that feel? Do you feel that the entire Jewish community is upon you? And how do you feel about
where did it's not like I come out to the ring saying shalom or anything. Where does Jewish have anything to do with it? It has to do with I'm the best trained female wrestler in the South. That I can tell you that right there. The best trained and the best qualified to carry any title.
You hear that?
If that sounds like a challenge to any women out there that want to try to take my UNW belt, you know where I'm at.
We have a caller in the line, 404. What's your area code? Is your area code, what is your name and what is your question?
Yeah, it's Smock Race. Pandora,
Oh, dear God.
Saturday, you better watch yourself, little girl.
Corey, did you just call in from a...
I knew it was
hang
him.
up on Corey. Hang up on Corey.
You
Corey,
better
shut
watch
up.
yourself.
Call back in. Call in after you stupid ass motherfucker. Hang up on his fat ass. Corey's been talking shit about you. I've been getting
Corey's
texts
been
all
talking
day
shit about me?
Yes.
Corey's scared of me. Has he talked about that?
Corey has let it be very well known that he's scared of you. Pandora, everybody lets it be known that they're very scared of you and you're very intimidating. So, Corey's dumbass calling in. I feel like we just got pranked. I feel like that, next thing you know, we're gonna have to, let Ron Fitzpatrick go. So, only like 5 people get that reference.
I think we got rickrolled.
We just got rickrolled. We just got Corey rolled. That's horrible. He's so fat and lazy. But Pandora, I mean, seriously, do you feel that being against two guys that can do anything they want to you, and falls count anywhere, anything can be used. This is a street fight. I mean, you might as well go ahead and have out blue jeans ripped up with holes in them and a pair of cowboy boots.
Bon Jovi
concert. I think that is actually what you have to wear. Is that like the attire?
Bon Jovi concert.
Bon Jovi concert.
Well,
okay.
I mean, I'll be dressed for a street fight. I can guarantee that, and I'm not underestimating them again. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, I know. But what we're saying though is,
I have the utmost faith in my partner Shane Marks, and the Jagged Edge. And don't forget, we do have DeWitt Dawson in our corner as well.
Hey, if I may.
Hold on. Time out. Is being somebody that has actually managed in a Bohemian Grove brawl against Bull. DeWitt doesn't want to stick his nose in the business. DeWitt's a funny fan out of the audience, being a valet, being a male valet. I'm a manager, and Bull beat the crap out of me. I caught Bull's finishing move at Great Championship Wrestling. You don't want to stick your nose in Murder One. Now, let's be honest. I've known Murder One my entire career. Murder One is a founding member of the Merchants of Death, which you are the matriarch of. And although you two really don't like each other, you guys both respect each other, and you have seen what Murder One has done to guys that he likes, people that he actually respects, Pandora. You know that he's going to beat the shit out of you, and you know for a fact that Bull Buchanan is going to beat the shit out of you. Neil Monet is going to beat the shit out of you. Are you prepared to take this ass whooping for this great and noble cause that you have, that you guys called the Empire? I think that's really what we want to know, because anything can happen. They can get their hands on you. They could triple team you. They could power bomb you. They could break your neck. This could end your career. This is not just a regular intergender match. It's a street fight. Are you ready for this? Are you mentally and physically ready for real?
I'm mentally and I'm physically ready for this.
Are you ready for
anything
the power?
They're not going to get their hands on me. This is what you don't understand. Now, if Shane Marks and the Jagged Edge going to get their hands on Nina, I don't doubt that they will. I don't need any help taking care of her, but I don't doubt that I'll give them a little piece of her.
Now, you
guys sound like your minds are made up.
You know better than anybody that Nina Monet can take an ass whooping. I saw you punch Nina in the face. Anybody. I saw Nina knocked out for 3 minutes, get up and actually win a tag match. You were not pinned, but she got the pin. And I mean, hell,
I don't underestimate Nina. I don't underestimate Nina.
Wasn't that long ago you and Shane were wrestling in a steel cage? You wrestled your tag team partner's steel cage match. We know that you're tough, but are you tough enough in case something happens? Jagged just come back from injury. Let's be honest. Jagged just come back from a major injury faster than what he was supposed to. He's 4 months earlier than what he's supposed to. Let's be honest. Do you think that he's ready for this? We know Shane's ready. Shane's a beast. We know you're ready. But what about that?
There's no doubt in my mind that Jagged's ready too. He wouldn't step in there if he wasn't. Because we do have Casey Kincaid as well. You're forgetting to mention him. He did win the tag titles with Shane Marks this past Saturday at UIW. So we do have another member of our Empire.
Time out. First of all, who the fuck is Casey Kincaid? I don't know who the fuck Casey Kincaid is.
Formerly the Phantom.
Oh.
Yep, you know him now?
Damn.
Yeah, well, that's another factor in the Empire.
Tell Casey Kincaid that his fucking ass needs to quit changing his name.
No kidding.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I know. We talked about this. Phantom was one of those guys that's just... Yeah. Phantom's like, what, 3'2"? And I think he's 4'2" in Dynamite. He's one of those guys, as we talked about him on Beyond Ringside, as Phantom, obviously. Casey Kincaid, where did he come up with Casey Kincaid?
No, I have no idea. I just know what he can do in the ring.
He's awesome, but
name means nothing, so you know what he's capable of. So there.
Okay, if name means nothing. Okay. Then talk about Mean Mark Callis compared to Taker. Totally different.
Talk about anything to do with Taker. It's a name.
Take it like Pandora and Calm Like a Bomb. Pandora, two totally different people. When you have that mindset, Phantom, man, we saw Phantom and Vandal beat the crap out of each other. Can he do that without that? Is he still under the mask?
No, he's not.
Oh, see? Totally different. Once again, Pandora, when does a gimmick surpass a wrestler in his in-ring or her in-ring ability?
It's the same person. So, again, I don't. He'll be there as well.
Well, there's your X Factor right there, Casey Kincaid, formerly known as Phantom from PCW infamy. Pandora, how can everyone get in touch with you for bookings? I know you don't need any help with bookings, but bookings and for fan mail.
You can contact me on Facebook, Pandora PCW.
And there you go. That's the only way to get in touch with her. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Calm Like a Bomb Pandora. This Saturday, Universal Independent Wrestling, 122 Bay Springs Road, Bay Springs Middle School. We're about to take our next break of the evening. When we come back, it will be time for the Smarks Rage, and then our last guest of the evening, Nina Monet, quickly following. This is the To Be Determined show right here beyond Ringside Radio. Already a jam-packed show as it is, the To Be Determined show right here beyond Ringside Radio. We've had the local scene, Josh Storm. We've had Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora. And then we have the beautiful Mocha sister herself, Nina Monet, coming on. We've got to come up with something. I know Nina has a moniker. We have to make sure that we just completely push that, because she is just... For those that haven't got to see her work, let me just say this right now. She will bust you in your mouth and smile about it. But, hi, how are you? So, this street fight, man. But somebody's going to be there this Saturday. Somebody that has a rage that is about to explode all over your face of the internet. The one, the only Corey Smark Rage with the Smarks Rage. Corey, what are you raging about this week?
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. Looking forward to seeing UIW Sunday, the street fight.
Sunday?
Saturday. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry, my bad. So I'm gonna jump into this. The rage of all rages. You guys are either gonna love me or you're gonna hate me. So let me get started by saying what DDP has done for Jake Roberts and Scott Hall is fantastic. With that being said, as a wrestling fan, I'm sick and tired of wrestlers asking the fans to float the bill for their financial fuck-ups. Scott Hall, Jake Roberts have made millions of dollars in this business. Take a drink. Pussy lives in a mansion. Sell your fucking mansion. I'm sorry that you're a drug addict and an alcoholic. I didn't put the drugs in your system. I didn't put the alcohol in your system. I'm sorry you blew through the money. But DDP asking people on Twitter and setting up a GoGoIndigo.com account, whatever the hell it is just absolutely ludicrous to me, in my opinion. You know, if you want to help out the business, if you want to help out your friends in the business, why don't they ask their millionaire friends like Triple H or, Paul Levesque, okay, or Kevin Nash? Didn't he make millions of dollars in WCW when somebody brought him in more than him? He got a bump. That guy's got money. What about Sean Waltman, X-Pac? What about Mr. Jesus, the HBK, Shawn Michaels? How come you guys don't ask them for their money? How come I got to be responsible for their financial fuck-up and behavior? Hell, why not run an indie show, put up some shirts, sell the shirts, sell the pictures? Why does it got to be on my back as a wrestling fan, on other wrestling fans' back? I've been a fan for 30 years. I've spent my money. You've made money off of me. Why should I have to give you more money when you blew through your money because you're on drugs? You like to snort crack or on pills or booze it up. You know what? This just really bothered me, and it's asinine how many fans donated money. They have raised about $45,000 just for Scott Hall. Eddie and Jake the Snake Roberts got on the thing. And now, don't get me wrong, I've got compassion for these guys. I'm a wrestling fan. I love wrestling. I talk about wrestling 7 days a week. I have a Twitter. That's all I talk about is pro wrestling. I am friends with pro wrestlers. I have a friend that's in Japan now doing what he does because he loves this business. Take another drink. Eddie, you got that clip I asked you to pull?
57 years, I got to where I was on my own. Addicted and drunk, beat up, worn out, trashed. Couldn't get up, couldn't get down. Didn't want to go anywhere, do anything. Got a lifeline tossed to me by a good friend, Diamond Dallas Page. Dropped 60 pounds. Clean and free, 70 days. Doing the next right thing. I'd be all in if it was poker. Giving 100%, man. You can't give any more than that. One day at a time. All the little cliches work, don't they? Here's where I'm at now. I got a long road that I'm taking. Ran over a rough spot and I'm stuck in the damn mud. An injury has reared its old head up. Jerked the wind out of my sails and stopped me cold in my tracks. I'm not going back to drinking and drugging, no doubt about that. But man, I don't want to stop where I'm at, man. I want to keep moving. I want to keep moving forward, getting healthy. I mean, I feel so right up here, but now I can't lift my damn left arm. And there's only one thing for me to do. I mean, it's not a choice of take a pill or jump through a hoop and you'll be okay. No, I've got to have damn surgery, man. And bottom line is, folks, I ain't got it. And I won't have it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is Jake the Snake Roberts, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. That guy's promo, if you go back and look at any of his promo now, and I've been a fan for 30 years, go back and watch some of his stuff now. And it sucks you in like you're a child. Now, when I first saw that about a month ago, that absolutely broke my heart. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not trying to come off as uncompassionate. Again, I love pro wrestling, but I don't think it should be on the backs of the pro wrestling fans anymore. It's absolutely insane. It's ludicrous, and it gets old. It gets old, and you know what? It's nice to see these addicts want to change, and that's fantastic. I'm happy that Scott and Jake are ready, but it shouldn't be on my back. I hope for their sake that Scott and Jake and anybody who has an addiction stays sober and sobers up. You could love or hate what I'm saying right now, but I'll always say what I mean, and I mean what I feel. I've always said this on Twitter and on when I was on any show, including Wrestle Rage. I do hope, like I said, hope both Jake and Scott stay clean. And now, Fast Eddie Lane, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, people who are in the business, what do you think what I just had to say?
Man, that's your opinion. Don't give money to him. Plain and simple. If you feel like that, but there are some fans out there that are a little bit more financially stable and have that money. Some don't have kids, some don't have priorities, and they can give that. Hey, some people are like, hey, I understand you gave your body up for the business. If you want to give Jake the Snake Roberts money, if you want to help him out, 122 Bay Springs Road, Villa Rica, Georgia, Bay Springs Middle School, you can go to him and meet him and give him money and say, hey, here, take my money. You don't have to get in touch with any go-go. You don't have to go do anything like that. You don't have to sell your money for prostitution. Just go out. Eddie, your thoughts?
Hold on.
Oh, my God. Sad Hulk music.
Hello. My name is Sarah McLaughlin. How can you resist this poor puppy? How can we leave these dogs in this shelter like this? Won't you have a heart and donate $15 per hour so we can make sure that this puppy is cleaned and dewormed and spayed and neutered and brushed and charmed and has a bandana around his nuts? Remember, this puppy cares about you. Won't you care about this puppy?
Now I'm going to get sued by ASCAP BMI, but what the hell? Look, simple as this. With all due respect, Paige, one of my favorites. Jake, one of my top 20 of all time. We get ourselves into this mess. We get ourselves into these messes. Whether it be drugs, alcohol, affairs of the heart. And sometimes we know when to stop. And sometimes we don't stop until it's too late.
And don't stop believing.
And don't stop believing. Hold on, I may be able to find that real quick.
No. We got to go.
I know.
We got our guests coming up.
I know.
Corey, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir?
Find me on Facebook, The Smarks Rage. Find me on Twitter at SmarkRage, all caps, or you can email me, smarkrage@yahoo.com. That's my time. That's my rage. I will see you later.
Yes, I just played the Glee version for Corey.
Oh my God. And ladies and gentlemen, our third, the trifecta is complete. The triangle. We got a new pope, so we're going to go ahead and do the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit ass-kicking style. The one, the only SugarWalls herself, Nina Monet. Nina, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Nina, you have a huge event this Saturday. We heard from Calm Like a Bomb Pandora earlier. She is saying that she's ready. She's saying that there is nothing that can stop the Empire. Nina, what are you going to do about this? This is a street fight.
Yes, it is. I'm going to do my best. And actually, I'm really happy that they finally turned this into a street fight. I've been trying to be the nice wrestler for this long. And now that they're giving me free reign to do whatever I want, I just hope she brings her A game because it will be on this weekend.
Now, you are no stranger to Calm Like a Bomb Pandora. You're no stranger to battling her in street fights. You two have had almost every type of women's match there is, almost, but not quite. But do you think this prepared you for the street fight? And in fact, I'll go one better. What separates this encounter between you two from all the other encounters, all the belts that you ladies have battled for, all the pride that has been on the line? What makes this the occurrence?
Well, we've only had one street fight, and they did include others that I don't think had my back as much as I wanted them to. And even though I don't exactly have a close relationship with my, my company now, I do believe that they will be there. Bill Buchanan, Bill had no ties to me whatsoever, but he came out to my rescue when a fight that started between me and Pandora was broken up by Shane, who was a grown man. But let me say this now, I'm not afraid of any man. Just like Pandora has gone against men, I have had my battles against men, and I will not back down this weekend. But this fight will be our second street fight, and I'm looking forward to being able to really bring it to Pandora. That I like to give the fans what they want. They come for wrestling, but I'm ready to give Pandora what she deserves this weekend.
You did not get a rematch for the Universal Independent Women's title. Do you think that your rematch is coming up soon? And do you think that you may take out some of this animosity, some of that aggression for being overlooked in what I thought you would immediately get your rematch? I think they had like a rematch clause. Are you going to take some of that out on Calm Like a Bomb Pandora in this street fight?
Oh, for sure. And not just her, but Shane Marks, because I really believe that belt was stolen from me on that day. And when I do get my rematch, please believe that I will be taking that belt back. That belt belongs with me. Nobody can get in the middle of that next time.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Are you going to go straight after Pandora? Are you going to keep your focus on her, or do you have no problem going after Jagged Edge and going after Shane? And as Pandora has pointed out, they have DeWitt and Casey there also.
At this point, it's whoever gets in my way. Whether Bull is there, whether Murder One is there, it's whoever gets in my way.
Ooh. Uh-oh, Eddie.
Knowing the circumstance and knowing what's on the line in this street fight, the obvious question's going to be, what are you prepared to do? But I'm going a slightly different direction, and I want you to look inside before you answer it. What won't you do to win this match this Saturday?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think there is an answer to that question because honestly, at this point, everything's within my grasp, including chairs, including whatever I want to pull out. So I don't think I'm really barred from doing anything at this point.
Well, let me
I'm
ask you this.
frustrated and I'm angry and I want my belt and I want my revenge.
Would you be above beating her with a dildo?
Oh!
Like a 15-inch dildo, just beating her ass with it.
Will it cause her pain? Will it give me my belt back?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? If it's allowed in there, I don't know. I do believe this is a school, but if it does some damage and somebody throws it in there,
right now, Corey.
This ain't that kind of show.
Right now, Corey is sitting there. Corey has already gotten his car. Corey is down the road.
Corey's waiting overnight. Corey believes that that there's like backstage tickets. So
yeah, he does.
You know, I may not be able to get you a deal on the object to which you just referred, but I know somebody who could probably hook you up with a barbed wire toilet seat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Hey,
you know, the good in me still says no. I'm not out to ruin her career. I'm just out to build mine.
Wait a minute.
And I don't want it taken from me unfairly anymore.
Nina, answer me a question though. Knowing the female entity that's on the other side of the ring, she would have no problem ending your career. She would have no problem breaking your leg, breaking your arm, putting you in traction. And yet you're going to say you're not of the same ilk to where you would do the same to her in a street fight circumstance?
She's not
That's the difference between us. She is great, but her fury comes from an evil darkness that's inside of her. I don't have that in me. I believe in sportsmanship, but at this point she needs to be taught a lesson.
Okay.
See, she's uncivilized. Nina's civilized. That's the difference right there. You're talking about a Japanese samurai in Nina going up against a Mongolian warrior. That's what this is.
And coming up
I like that analogy.
Thank you, Mr. Damelin.
What'd you say? Who?
Thank you, Mr. Damelin.
Oh, Jeff. We need to get Jeff on this show. Anyways, but Nina, now, do you know for sure that Murder One and Bull Buchanan have your best interests in mind? As you said, you and Bull have no connection at all. He just come out and saved you out of nowhere. Do you trust these two gentlemen? We know Murder. We know Bull. They are not really trustworthy guys.
What I saw 2 weeks ago was honor in Bull. Do I honestly trust Murder One? No. But do I trust Murder One to get the job done? Yes. I've seen his work, and that is why he's on our team. I do believe in him as a partner.
You heard it right here. I mean, it sounds like there's some solidarity going on the Empire side and on the UIW side. We talked to the local scene Josh Storm, and he kind of reiterated that. He said that he feels like only one person can watch his back, but that he is pro UIW. It seems that is the ongoing. But do you realize or do you accept the fact that eventually there has to be solidarity between the entire locker room to do anything to the Empire? Because right now you have Casey Kincaid, formerly known as Phantom, who we all discovered tonight, and I feel like I've just discovered the Lost Ark. You have the Revelation Shane Marks. I mean, the man is Jesus' favorite wrestler. You have Jagged Edge. And you have Kal Makabal and Pandora, not to mention the evil mind that is DeWitt Dawson. I mean, that's pretty strong.
I mean, but they held together by bad intentions, and that can fall apart. What is building in the UIW locker room is an anger and a fury. I take that back. Not even an anger, and righteous anger. What they've taken from us is, again, just to go back to the point of honor, they have none. And they've taken our place, and this is what people have to look up to for wrestling. I think we can do better. We are better.
You hear that right there. Just rising to honor. An honorable act. Eddie, last question for Nina Monet.
Now, looking at this Saturday, a lot of things come together. But one of our good friends on this show, going back to a broadcast partner I had with Global, Ted Guinness, says, questions will be answered, but those answers will have questions. Are you looking past tonight to possibly regaining championship gold, or is your number one focus at this point in time getting your hand raised in victory no matter what you have to do?
I'm going to enjoy getting my hand raised in victory, but after this weekend, there'll be no doubt that I should have my rematch with Pandora, and I should be the owner of that championship belt. And that's the only question that will be raised is why I haven't gotten a chance to get it back yet.
Nina, anything you'd like to say to the fans to let them know about this Saturday, what they might have, what might be in store, ma'am?
Just be prepared. Be prepared. They're going to be out of their seats. I mean, they're going to be out of their seats because we're going to probably throw Empire into them, but this is going to be a good match, and I'm looking forward to getting back everything that I've lost. So, yes.
Wow. Nina, how can everyone get in touch with you, whether it be promoters for bookings or whether it be fans?
I can be found on Facebook, Nina Monet, and also at Monet_Nina on Twitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, SugarWalls, Nina Monet. Nina, we appreciate it. We appreciate you coming on. Huge event this Saturday, and I'm sure we can't wait for you all to get your hands on the Empire. Nina, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take our last break of the evening. When we come back, we're going to talk a little hardcore wrestling. Eddie has a huge event he's coming up Saturday. We just spent an hour and a half talking about one, or an hour talking about one. Now let's switch gears to hardcore wrestling. 205-316-9900. We're asking, when does the gimmick surpass the wrestler's in-ring ability? And was CM Punk's promo during the Paul Bearer tribute classy, classic, or disrespectful? The To Be Determined show right here Beyond Ringside Radio.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Take It Home Round on the To Be Determined show. Tonight's edition of the Take It Home Round brought to you by Little Miss Sunshine Edible Underwear. Yes, when it's time and you really just want to kiss the moon, you gotta eat a little sunshine. Little Miss Sunshine Edible Underwear. And now, your host and moderator, the one, the only, his Mohawk sticker 6 higher than Ron Jeremy could ever dream of. He's the Wicked Nemesis.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I wish I had a pencil to throw right now.
I know you do. The old Carson bit.
David Letterman.
That too.
Remember when Letterman used to throw the pencils?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do that. The music. I
that
threw
was
the music.
Great. That's the new thing. That's the new thing. You just witnessed history being made. That will happen the last 30 minutes. The Take It Home edition, as we call it.
Goody, that
Beyond
means
Ringside, the Take It Home round, as some people like to call it.
Well, see, you got the Take It Home round over here. I've got the home run round over on BR.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. In this business,
drink.
It's very good to have and to be as cinematic, as altruistic, as showmanshipistic as you can be. So that was awesome. Eddie, you have a huge event you're going to be at this Saturday in Sylacauga, or how do you call it?
Oh, I jokingly and lovingly call it Sicalaga, but it is Sylacauga, Alabama. IWA Deep South presents the Cage of Carnage this Saturday night, bell time 7:30 p.m. Wick, you're going to have a blast over in Georgia. I'm going to have a blast over here in Alabama. It's at the J. Craig Smith. Damn it, Cobalt, you were right. I couldn't say it once, much less three. And I'm talking about Cobalt of the Bateri, who we had an interview this past Sunday. Wick, I wish you could have been there for the whole thing, dude. You'd have had a blast.
Well, I was there for some of it. I just didn't know when to jump in. He was totally in gimmick. Great stuff.
I loved it. It was tremendous. They got 7 matches on the card, and this show will be taped, recorded for DVD purposes, courtesy of Smart Mark Video. Also on video on demand. So if you're not able to make it live, you got 2 ways that you can catch it afterwards, but damn it, you want to be there live for this one. Tickets are $10 a piece. Kids 7 and under are free. Now, the main event is going to be the first ever Cage of Carnage match. It is a steel cage with weapons like you would not believe. You think they had some cutesy weapons at Lethal Lockdown? We're going to make that look like a day in the sandbox, featuring Bulldozer Matt Tremont, Damian Payne, Spider Boudreaux, and Josh Crow. There will be a Thumbtack Taipei carpet strip doors match. Oh my. This hurts just thinking about it. Now, I'm going to let everybody know before I go any further. Folks, this show will have something for wrestling fans who appreciate all different styles of wrestling. But these 2 matches in particular, they don't call it hardcore. This is ultra-violent. The Beast Bryant Woods, the Angel of Death John Rare, good friend of ours here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, Sicko the Clown, all a part of this match. You've got Tim Donst, who you have seen across the country with a number of different promotions, including Chikara Pro Wrestling, taking on another of our good friends here on TBD and the entire Beyond Ringside Radio Network, Christian Haim. The $5 wrestling world title will be on the line, and yes, I did say $5 wrestling. The $5 champion Freight Train takes on Big James without the Giant Peach and Silicaga's own Chaos. There will be a champion versus champion match, title for title. The IWA Deep South champion, Freak Show, will be defending, and his challenger is none other than the grand champion of Chikara Pro Wrestling, Eddie Kingston. Silicaga's own New Age superstar, Joe Hogan, will be taking on the Man Scout, Jake Manning. And a match that I'm looking forward to. Every match on this card has the potential to just completely explode and then some. But this is going to be a Chikara versus IWA Deep South Trios style match. Caden Sade, Jarek Tyler, Shane Smalls take on the combination known as the Batiri. Kadama will be there. Cobalt will be there. And there has been one small change in this lineup. The third member of the Batiri, who is normally there as a Barian. However, in this particular case, he is not going to be able to make this show. From this vantage point, Ophidian is going to be joining us on this one. This is going to be a great night. Wrestling fans, Central and South Alabama, it is going to be worth the drive. Like I said, for those in the Peach State of Georgia, you're going to have a hell of a night at UIW. Wrestling fans over in Alabama, you got a hell of a night coming to you with IWA Deep South. We had interviews with Cobalt of the Batiri. We've also had a recent interview with Kevin Brandon, the owner of IWA Deep South. Tell you what, we got some great events going on all over the country, but these 2 in particular, we are going to have a blast with. From the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and Beyond Ringside Live Sunday nights, Mark Mabo Bowman will be there. BR alumnus emeritus, 2 tons, Adam Coffey will be there, representing Beyond Ringside. And I got the call last night, and I am very humbled and very appreciative of the fact that I have been asked to be the guest ring announcer for IWA Deep South this coming Saturday night in Sylacauga, Alabama. Once again, that's going to be 7:30 p.m. Check them out. Look on Facebook for IWA Deep South or run a search for Cage of Carnage. You'll find the event. And go to facebook.com/FastEddieLane. I've got the link to I'll have the event link to the event page up there momentarily. Dude, how many times could I stutter through one freaking promo tonight?
About as much as I do.
There you go. We're even on that one. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, IWA Deep South Cage of Carnage at the J. Craig Smith Community Center. Ha, got it right that time, in Sylacauga, Alabama. Once again, tickets are only $10 at the door. And you can still get advance tickets from what I have been told. I spoke with Kevin Brand a little bit earlier today, and there are still tickets very much available. Folks, this is going to be an event you don't want to miss. Like I said, to get a chance to catch some great talent from around the southeastern U.S. and also great talent coming in from Chikara Pro Wrestling, Tim Donst, the Batiri, Eddie Kingston. It's going to be a great night of pro wrestling action, my friends. Wick?
Now, really quick, Joe Hogan,
Yeah.
He's a master at this business. I cannot believe they have Joe Hogan on this.
And think about it. He's taking on Jake the Man Scout Manning. Now, we've all watched Jake in action. The Man Scout knows his way around the ring. So, Jake Manning versus Joe Hogan. That's going to be a solid technical matchup. These two guys really know how to go.
Well, I like Jake, but I think Jake is bit off a little more than he could do. Joe Hogan's been in this, 23 years?
Yeah.
And one of the only people that Mike Jackson trained that's worth a fuck, so. If not the only person, I don't give a fuck. Fuck Mike Jackson. He can kiss my ass. Anyways, I told you guys this is R-rated. I said at the beginning, you were warned. Don't go, because I know we got a lot of people from UIW listening. They're like, oh my God, did the Wicked Nemesis just cuss? Yes, I did.
Hey, Wick.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, parental discretion is advised.
But, I mean, you have these people out here, guys, all the time. They're like, wow, you guys kind of let loose on your show, don't you? I'm like, Beyond Ringside? No, the To Be Determined show. Oh, yeah. Now, we let everybody know. And if for those that are checking us out on Ustream, whenever you see the graphic come by, it has the parental advisory right there on it.
Yeah, it's up there right now.
And it's up there right now. Hey, there you go.
It's up there right now.
And hopefully, eventually, Eddie will have a picture of my mask. Oh, I think that'll be awesome. I need a parental advisory mask.
I'm looking for the picture of you in a mask right now. There it is. I've got you in the yellow lightning with the prayer.
Oh my God, that's a scary picture. But ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, we've talked about it, but there's one match that I cannot wait to see. Ooh, Jimmy Rave against Fred Yehi. This is going to be one of those matches. I'm telling you guys. Anybody that knows Jimmy Rave? Jimmy Rave is a hard hitter.
Yeah.
Fred, a lot of guys don't know him, but you will. I promise you that. Eddie, I know you guys are going to have a lot of fun out there. And when he means ultraviolet, he means ultraviolet. Look, Eddie, the infamous, you called it earlier. Go ahead. Just describe it.
Okay.
Describe the weapon.
Okay. When I attended, along with Mabo and Tunzi, Mark Bowman and Adam Coffey, the deathmatch tournament from IWA Deep South, the Carnage Cup, a couple of years ago. Actually, it was 2011. They had some weapons in this series. Now, I'm a fan of CZW. I'm a fan of IWA Mid-South. I had never seen an IWA DS match, Deep South. I'd seen some of the talent through some of the other companies. But the fact, and I'd also watched Westside Extreme Wrestling out of Germany. I'd seen some of their stuff on the web. But I'd never seen a ultra-violent match in person. Now, some of the weapons that I saw at Carnage Cup included but are not limited to a crucifix match where they're using 7 foot long and 6 foot long fluorescent light tubes bundled in 4s, crossed over with 4 foot or 3 foot, depending on which one what size they're going for, fluorescent tubes bundled in 4 in the form of a cross. They had 4 of those. They had 4 36-inch X-shaped fluorescent crosses. And I'm going, that looks like it might be painful. I ain't getting near this crap. But the one weapon, other than the bright pink wiffle ball bat with brass thumbtacks adhesive tape to it, that really just caught my eye, a barbed wire toilet seat.
You gotta get a picture of that.
I've got a picture. I've got a picture.
You gotta put that up on the graphic. If we can get a graphic up, I don't know. I know Eddie's working kind of fast, but
I wouldn't be able to get it over there. It's on my phone. I can't get it over there though. I would love to.
You gotta get one. Oh my God.
But I took a picture of the barbed wire toilet seat. Now here's the funny thing about it. The gentleman who created it, who's actually a friend of mine on Facebook, had created for me a brand new, never been used version of the barbed wire toilet seat that I was supposed to be able to get when I went to the Carnage Cup 2012. I wasn't able to make it, and he wasn't able to hook up with Mabo and Tunzi. They lost track of each other. And therefore, I wasn't able to get the barbed wire toilet seat, but he still got it, holding on to it. I'm tremendously appreciative. When I get a chance to, that barbed wire toilet seat will be coming back to the Beyond Ringside and Full Range Entertainment Studios when we move into the new facility in about a month from now. That's going to be going up on the wall. So, and that's going to be a definite conversation piece. And yes, it's brand new. Nobody's ever used it before, literally. in any capacity. So that's why it's going to be going up on the wall in the studio. It's just one of the funniest damn things that I've ever seen. And if you offer me $100,000 for somebody to let me be hit with that, guess what? You're going to be keeping $100,000 calls. I'm not going in that direction, kids.
It takes a special type of individual to have and be a part of an ultraviolet match. It's not my cup of tea, because my cup of tea doesn't have nut sacks, barbed wire, baseball bats, and blood in it. So, but if it is yours, Sylacauga, Alabama, IWA
Deep South.
I said it. Why are you acting like I'm not going to? I said Miss South one time.
I know.
And Eddie's just like, but it's
I didn't correct you on it, did I? No, I did not.
JC Kasem. You need to play the sad Hulk music. I'm just playing. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everyone that goes out and supports local independent wrestling. We support it as well. Eddie is driving, and he is going to be around a lot of blood. Eddie, do me a favor.
Yes.
If you've ever seen The Naked Gun, make sure you wear one of those giant condoms.
No kidding.
Because I don't want you to get some shit from one of those crazy ass fucking carnies and bring it back and have it go through my headset. I don't want that.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. It does take a special breed of individual to work an ultraviolet match. And I'm not saying that everybody's Mick Foley. Mick Foley and Terry Funk are animals all into themselves. If you've never seen a match utilizing ultraviolet tactics and tools, it is a different animal than your typical traditional wrestling. This ain't Southern wrestling, kids. However, on this show this Saturday, and I mean, think about it, dude. You've got Tim Donston, Christian Haim. That is going to be a match for the scientific wrestling fans, for the traditional wrestling fans. It's going to tear the house down, because both of these guys can go at the drop of a hat. And they're both very talented individuals. They're not working an ultraviolet match. Only 2 matches on there are going to be in the ultraviolet vein. And those are the 2 matches we discussed. We've also got some surprises coming out this coming Saturday night in Sylacauga. So, like I said, this is going to have something for everyone. Actually, and Wicked made a reference to it, and I do too as well. You get a chance to go to shows like UIW over in Villa Rica at the Bay Springs Middle School. And they are going to have some solid matchups. And like I said, the street fight is going to be a hard-hitting encounter, guaranteed. I mean, you've had a chance to hear Pandora. You've had a chance to hear Nina Monet. And the fact of the matter is, these 2 ladies do not like each other. End of discussion. Now, also, let me go ahead and mention this. In Houston, Texas, this coming Friday night, March 15th, NWA Houston will be presenting March of the Kings. The Tag Team Championship rematch will take place with the Kings of the Underworld taking on Carson and Douglas. You've got the Lone Star Championship that's going to be on the line, and Ray Rowe, who a lot of people feel could be the man to unseat the current NWA champion, the Tokyo Monster Cahagas. Ray Rowe and Cahagas will be going head up this coming Friday night at VFW Post 8905, located at 21902 Northwest Freeway in Cypress, Texas. So, folks, if you open your eyes and you take a look around, you will find some great professional wrestling action. I mean, you've got some in Alabama. You've got some in Georgia. You've got some in Texas. There's stuff going on. There's even another show taking place in San Antonio that's going to be featuring on Saturday, March 16th. Rob Conway's going to be there. Funaki's going to be there. And regardless of what happens on Friday night, the NWA Championship will be defended on Saturday night at NWA Branded Outlaw Wrestling in San Antonio, Texas, on Cincinnati Avenue. So, I mean, think about it. The stars of tomorrow, the stars of today, and the legends all come to these shows, all work these shows. And the only person that you're hurting if you don't make it out to these shows is yourself. Because if you're happy watching on Monday, Thursday, Friday, hey, God love you. But you want to show that you're a real wrestling fan? Get your ass out of your house. Hop in the car, make a short drive. Even if it's an hour, hour and a half for a good quality show, it's worth it. Right, Wick?
But I think that's what it is. A lot of people don't want to drive. They're like, well, I'm not going to be on TV. Man, you never know what you're going to see, who you're going to see, or what's going to happen at an event. Plain and simple. I've been at events where AJ Styles just showed up. I was like, I'm working Corey Hollis. You know what? That's what happened.
Damn.
It's that mentality of guys that it's the same reason why house shows. Eddie, you know it, I know it. Some of the best events are house shows.
Yes.
Plain and simple. They get to go out, they get to let loose. The TV hinders what you can do and what you can see.
Yes.
Because it's for a bigger purpose. Networks have their hands in this.
Yeah.
If you have the mentality that you have to be on TV to go to a wrestling event, it's all about you. Go out and have fun. There used to be a time when fans could be fans and could have fun. Now everybody wants to know everything. They want to hang out backstage. They want to get pictures with everybody. They're like, "Oh, I'm cheering for you because everybody else is booing you." That makes no sense. That means you're crazy. That's what that means.
Pretty much.
It means plain and simple. But for fans that listen to us, for fans that listen to all the podcasts, for fans that listen to Beyond Ringside, for those that listen to Wrestling with Pop Culture, friends of ours, you have to go out. You have to support it. You can't sit here and bitch. These guys, I can't believe Punk did that. When was the last time they went to an event? When was the last time they paid money?
Yeah.
There's one thing to be an armchair quarterback. One thing is to be like, okay, I may never train. But you know what? The fans that go out and pay the money, they have a right to. Oh, I know everybody's like, oh, this is America. I can say what I want to.
You can say what you want to. It may not mean a damn thing.
Exactly. It doesn't mean shit. But that mentality of people saying they have to be on TV is absolutely horrid. It's horrid. Go out and support it. You never know who's coming up.
No.
Look at the guys you see on TV. They all started somewhere.
Yep.
You have to start somewhere to be somebody. Plain and simple.
By the way.
Yes, sir.
You and I spoke, and Corey and I spoke off air on previous occasions. And I'm catching some crap because of some stuff that once again I put up on Twitter, and I was trying to clarify my position. There is an individual who has been making appearances on Ring of Honor television over the last few weeks. And for simplicity's sake, I will call him Hat Marty. Because I don't want all of his little Twitter freaks getting pissy at me again. Look, my main complaint against Hat Marty and his first appearance on Ring of Honor television, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And I don't care if you've been on top of the mountain. I don't care if you're Michael freaking Jackson, Michael freaking Jordan, or, it doesn't matter. When you're making an appearance somewhere, especially with an audience that is as hypercritical as pro wrestling fans are, and y'all got to sit back and look. Y'all will pick apart every damn detail if given the opportunity. True or false? Time's up. True. My thing, when I go and I work a show, now, when I show up to load in, to run ring crew, or to set up PA rig, yeah, I'm not going to be dressed the same as I am when that show opens, that door opens. When that door opens, I've changed clothes. When the bell rings and the camera rolls, I'm definitely going to be dressed. Whether it be in the traditional blue jeans, which are a deeper blue, I don't do the stone washed, I don't do ripped. Whether it be whatever color mock turtle I'm wearing, and the Han Solo vest. That is what I normally wear. I don't always wear a suit and tie. I'm not conventional in that regard. But I'm not going to look like I just rolled out, and for my friends in the Birmingham area, you're going to know what I mean when I say this. I'm not going to look like I just rolled out of the Jimmy Hale mission, with all due respect. I'm not going to look like I just finished spending a week in the backseat of my car. If Matt Hardy, oops, said it, damn, sorry. If Matt Hardy had respect for the fact that Ring of Honor was bringing him in, the hair would have been in traditional Matt Hardy style. He would have shaved, or at least grown a beard, or a goatee, or a mustache, and not looking like he had the Don Johnson 5 o'clock shadow on crack. Old Miami Vice joke there, kids. That's my complaint. You're making your first appearance on a national television broadcast. Screw national. You're making your first appearance on a television broadcast. Look like you have pride in yourself and pride in the company that's paying your damn check. Because if you don't have that, guess what? The fans that you had, you probably won't have them much longer. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're working. The fact of the matter is, show them that you respect the fact that they're there to support you and that that company's supporting you by bringing you in. That's my side of the coin. Sorry, Wick, I had to do it.
How can everyone get in touch with you, Eddie? And what does Beyond Ringside have upcoming?
At Fast Steady Lane over on Twitter, LAYNE. Facebook.com/Fast Steady Lane, and keep your eyes open on FastSteadyLane.com, at Beyond Ringside over on Twitter. One word, run it all together, no space, hyphen, underscore, or anything else. It's Beyond Ringside. Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live, and of course, BeyondRingside.com. This past Sunday, we had the opportunity to interview Ryan Cruz. A lot of people know him as formerly one half of the North Star Express. Well, this Sunday night at 7 Central, 8 Eastern, we will be interviewing his former tag team partner and very close friend, Darren Corbin. And at 6 o'clock, we're going to be bringing in Dwayne. I don't have his last name written down in Dwayne. I'm so sorry. From a company called Turnbuckle Tees. We're really looking forward to that. And once again, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this Saturday night at IWA Deep South down in Sylacauga, Alabama. And before I say anything else, I said I was going to clarify this. I will. Folks, take the opportunity. If you're looking for a pet, and this is a straight shoot from me to you, adopt a shelter dog or cat. Check your local shelters. You'll find a really cool pet there.
Saturday, March 16th. Doors open at 6:30, bell time at 8. Tickets, $15 front row, $10 for floor seats, $8 general admission. Kids 6 and under are free. You have So Fine Mafia against Frankie Valentine and Josh Storm, known as Full Throttle. The UIW Internet title, Jimmy Rave against Fred Yehai. The main event is Shane Marks, Jagged Edge, and Calm Like a Bomb, Pandora, with DeWitt Dawson versus Bull Buchanan, Murder One, and Nina Monet in a 6-person intergender tag team match that happens to be a street fight. Also a fatal 4-way for the UIW title. UIW US title, I'm sorry. Stupid with Tweety, the Jailhouse Rocker, Hit for Hire Bobby Moore, awesome. And Awesome TC. And Marvelous Michael Stevens and Drew Adler. And of course, Mr. Terminal Intent, the Primal Chris Knox, and myself will be in attendance, so you know what that means.
Somebody's getting hurt.
It's going to be unlucky for somebody, Shamrocks and Shenanigans. Contact me at Wicked Nemesis. There's a Facebook fan page for the Wicked Nemesis, for the Unlucky Charms, and for the Merchants of Death, and To Be Determined show. Join us next Wednesday. We probably won't have 3 guests, but we definitely will have something big. Someone huge. That sounded horrible.
Yeah, I know.
Let's rewind that. Had a Dan Le Batard moment for a second. Where's Poppy? Let me say something funny. I have my wife say something in Spanish to make this not so awkward. Say something, please. What do you say about the new Pope? Oh, and by the way, the Black Pope prophecy come through because Jesuits are called the Black Popes because they wear the black garments instead of the white garments. So Nostradamus was right. Ladies and gentlemen, the To Be Determined show next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, BeyondRingside.com, Beyond Ringside 5:30 Central Standard Time next Sunday, or this Sunday.
This Sunday,
exactly. Hey, Universal Independent Wrestling Redemption. Diamond Dallas Page, Jake the Snake Roberts will be in attendance. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for listening. This is the Oracle of Ominous, the Architect of Intellect, the Wicked Nemesis, and
this is the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Steady Lane, also saying a very special hello and how you doing to a longtime friend of mine in Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Great talking to you the other day, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all. Good night.